it's a lot to digest. I think the Senate is going to have some oversight hearings on it. Secretary Hegg says is going to the Hill this week. It's going to be asked about it. But from the New York Times reporting, things seem a little bit more clear to me today than they did yesterday.
David Axelrod, I mean, President Obama came under criticism on drone strikes while he was in office. How do you see how this administration?
Look, there was an awful lot of discussion between lawyers in the White House and the Pentagon about and the CIA about what was appropriate and legal. There were civilian casualties at times, but there was a great deal of effort and time placed on being precise, identifying the people who you were going after. We have no idea who these people are. We don't know who those guys who are hanging off the boat were, who were the victims of the second strike. And that's what makes this so different. We also don't really understand the legal justification for it. Members of the Congress have seen it. They're not allowed to speak about it. But the public is sort of in the dark. So there's an opacity to this that makes it different.
Although, I mean, I was talking to Admiral Stavridis last night, who was saying, look, there will certainly be a chain of evidence, Abby.
Right.
There's a lot of eyes on this, a lot of people watching this. There's a lot of video images. You know, they only released the first strike, obviously, when President Trump put this video out in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, there is information that they could release about this, and there probably will end up being an investigation because it's clear that both Democrats and Republicans are uncomfortable by this. But there's also a hint that even the Trump administration, the Trump Pentagon, didn't repeat this pattern, because remember, there was another strike where there were in fact survivors. Those individuals were taken aboard and then released back to their home countries. So in what seemed to be a somewhat similar situation, survivors from an initial strike, in that second case, they weren't struck again. And it makes me wonder if there was a conversation in the Pentagon about what happened in this first instance. The Trump administration has dug itself into a bit of a hole because by having Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, come out and then say, we believe he was in his legal authority, this admiral, this legal authority to carry out this strike, they're endorsing it. They're endorsing it before there's been an investigation into the legality of it. And I think that puts them in a bit of a box.
Look, I think that it was an absolute sign of what they think privately about this, that the president was so insistent on that he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
this was not something he would have. They're walking away from the policy, and they're assigning responsibility. They're defending him, but they're assigning responsibility to the admiral for the decision. The question is, we have this long talk about journalism all the time. What would have happened if this weren't reported? They didn't self-report this. They didn't say a mistake was made. It was only after it was reported that the country learned about it.
Everybody stay with us. Up next, a former Navy Reserve Intelligence officer who's now a member of the House is calling on Secretary Hegg to resign. Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander joins me ahead.
Saturday on CNN. It's a special night to focus on the good in the world.
Congratulations, you're doing incredible work.
Join Anderson Cooper and Laura